Hello class. I've just returned essay number 2. You'll find those in the My Grade section, and you can download your essays with my comments on them and contact me if you have any questions. One thing that I've noticed is many of you are still not using MLA Format. There are several resources in the class that demonstrate MLA Format, and in fact I've included a sample paper that's actually annotated with explanations and diagrams to show you everything that's needed for it to be proper MLA. And I thought I'd show you here quickly too a quick demo of how to set up your paper in MLA style. Now, one thing that you know, most of you are getting this part, you need to first make sure that you have your margins and your line spacing and your font set correctly. So your margins, you normally want to have 1 inch all around. If you're using a more up-to-date version of Microsoft Word, this would just be the normal setup, and it automatically gives you 1 inch margins all around. You also want to make sure that your line spacing is double spaced. Your papers have to be double spaced. And your font, you need to use Arial Times New Roman or Calibri, something that's simple and easy to read. The two most common are Arial and Times New Roman, and it has to be 12 point. So 12 point Times New Roman or Arial font. Okay. And as you know, here on the on the left-hand side, you have your name, then my name, the class, this will be English 102, and the date that you're submitting your paper. And the date, we use the international format, which is the day first, then the month, then the year. Now, another important thing that some of you have overlooked is that in MLA format, you always need a title as well. So you need to give a title, and the title is centered, and that is just a title that relates to your main idea or your topic sentence. Say for essay number 1, maybe you talked about different elements in the short story, so it just might be something like literary elements in Sunny's Blues. Okay. Now notice here, the short story is in quotation marks. There is a PowerPoint, and there are several other resources and handouts that you can print out that show you when you need to use quotation marks and when you need to use italics. So make sure that you're doing that correctly. Then you just hit enter, go back to your margin. And remember, all of your paragraphs, you need to indent the paragraph, and then you don't hit enter till you reach the end of the paragraph and you indent again. You also need to make sure you have a works cited page for all of your citations. So if you're using quotations, you need to cite those in proper MLA format and include a works cited page. And the works cited should begin on a new page. Now, one thing many of you are leaving out, and I decided to do this little demo video because I thought maybe you're not sure how to do it, is in MLA format, you also need a header with your last name and the page number. And that's pretty simple to do. In most versions of Word, you go to Insert, and then depending on the version you have, you'll either do header. I have a more recent version, so I can actually do page number. And page number is actually the easiest way to do this. So you click on page number, go to top of page, and then you want that right justified. So you would just right justify the page numbers. I notice here too my font changed. Sometimes you also want to make sure that your font is the same as the rest of your paper. So I just went and changed this to Times New Roman because I noticed that it did my header in Arial, since that's what the paper was in before. Then put your cursor in front of the number and type your last name. This is still in Arial, so I want to make sure it's Times New Roman. And then once you create that header, you just click back on the main page of your document, and now that header will appear on every page of your document. So if I create a new page, now my header and the advancing page number is going to be on every page of the document. So make sure that you don't forget to insert that header, because that's another important thing in the MLA format. So when you submit your papers, this is what the beginning of every paper should look like. So the first page of all of your papers should look like this when you submit them. If you have any questions, send a message through messages or post it in Ask the Instructor.